Hey everybody, my name is David Jennings. I'm here with the captains of your football team. All right, guys. Do you guys have any pregame or postgame superstitions that you kind of go to on game days?
Pre-game or post-game. Some things I do as a ritual is meditate. Well, I don't think I have any superstitions.
Wait. What about any of you guys?
Usually I just sit in my locker, close my eyes, try to visualize, but besides that, not too much.
Mine is my jersey has to be inside out and hanging on my locker inside out, and then I gotta put like my pants and like my pads like over my pants. I gotta lay like my outfit out, and then I meditate and stuff like that, but definitely like the inside out jersey.
Sounds good, guys. Do you guys have any personal goals you're working towards outside the team this year for football?
Outside the team, my personal goal is to try to get 1,000 receiving yards. Just win a state championship.
Yeah, I think we have our personal goals, but really at the end of the day, it's just to win a state championship.
Really, it's a state championship. I have my own personal numbers I want to set, but the numbers are gonna come. I just focus on winning the ship.
It's a great attitude. How would you guys rate the team chemistry with the new team, and how new is the team really this year based off the last year?
It's new as in y'all never seen them before, but to us they're not really new. We've seen them all summers. We all came from previous schools that we know of and stuff like that, so they're not really bad.
That's a great answer. And lastly, if you guys played a sport other than football, what do you guys think it would be?
Basketball.
Baseball.
That's a good question. I'm thinking like a water polo type of guy. Nah, I'm playing. Maybe like, I don't know, lacrosse. Probably lacrosse.
All right. Thank you guys. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
I am thrilled to be joined here on TESPN Media Days by longtime Titan football head coach, the head ball coach himself, Sam Mickens. And the first word that leaps to my mind about this coming season here in 2024 is hungry. And you've coached obviously some incredible teams, some teams that were satiated by meeting their goals, and last year a team that maybe came up just short of the ultimate goal. So can you tell our fans how hungry is this group and of coaches and players for this 2024 season?
Yeah, thanks, Coach. This team's really hungry. They're excited to get back after it. I think more than anything else at the end of last year, we were just proud of the boys for how they had battled through a tough season and ended up in the state title game, and really a couple plays short of closing out what would have been a remarkable season. But I would say give it a week or so, they were able to kind of relax and get their minds right, and they were right back after it.
Yeah, and you said, I think you said just some like almost a remarkable season, but let's remind ourselves, it was a pretty great season when you talk about winning the Prep League for the second year in a row and only the second time in school history. That's nothing to sneeze at. A lot of great football players have walked through here and walked across the stage without a Prep League title. Incredible comeback against Woodbury to get that unbelievable state semifinal game with the last second field goal to get a comeback win against Flint Hill. None of us who were at Huguenot High School will forget the regular season finale win over Benedictine. So even though you fell short of that ultimate goal and the standard that has been set in this program now of winning state titles, I think it's important to remind the viewers here that last season was pretty awesome, but maybe for a couple key injuries at ungood times, it was still some really big highlights last season.
Oh yeah, we were incredibly proud of those kids and the young men, they're not kids, and how they played and persevered through the year. But this year's group, it really did make them hungry. It actually reset the standard, and so not that you can be any hungrier than the group before you, but what it does is it kind of reminds you, humbles you a little bit, brings you back to the basics.
So there's some names that any Titan football fan will know that have had key impact for multiple seasons in a row. Quarterback Tegan Logan, wide receiver Devion Brown, cornerback / safety / wide receiver Deuce Edwards, athlete, I guess. Who are some names of maybe guys who maybe started to have an impact last year, but maybe that was their first year of playing time, or even new guys this year that we should keep an eye on?
I think Khalid Rayner was someone that was really quiet last year. He's just a quiet kid in general. And if he's doing his job, you don't see him and don't hear from him. And fortunately, he does his job a lot. And he's at cornerback. you've got Brady Sakowicz, again, an offensive lineman, if he's doing his job, and there's a lot of touchdowns being scored, but you don't really see him. But we're looking for a big season out of him. And so Patrick McGowan's another one on that front, senior, who we're just looking for big things. He's worked really hard and he's kind of worked his way through the program. And, next man up, it's his time.
Exactly. Super quick anecdote, but you mentioned Khalid Rayner being kind of a quiet young man, but I have him in history class. He sits in the front row and first person to answer a question every day. So it's just a great example of so many of these young men who are not only great representatives on the field, but also in the classroom. And he, just like so many of your players and his brothers, is keeping that tradition alive for sure. So we got a chance to have a scrimmage out here on this field behind us about a week ago against a very talented team from Indian River down the 757. What are some things maybe that you learned from that scrimmage?
Indian River's fast. Whenever you start the season off with a team like Indian River, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. And one thing is we're young, and not young in terms of age. I guess we're there as well, but just in terms of experience. So just making sure the guys that need experience get experience, hammering out some of the little things, some of the minor mistakes, as the deal as you progress through the preseason. But for the most part, I was really excited at how the boys responded, and we're just excited to get going towards North Cross.
So not only did you lose a lot of talented players, a bunch of guys who were playing at the next level, but you lost a lot of really amazing young men and leaders. And it strikes me, watching the scrimmage the other day, that as hard as it's going to be to replace some of that talent on the field, maybe even a bigger challenge to replace that leadership in the locker room. So who are some guys that in this early phase of the season or even through off-season programs showed you that they're ready to step up and follow in the footsteps of leaders like Ryan Mitchell, Cam Walker, Zaire Rayner, Jay Williams, James Woodward, and the list goes on and on?
Thanks, Coach. Thanks for reminding me. All season, all off season, the twins have been great. So Miles and Mason Love have been amazing. And I've said this to anyone that will listen. Davion Brown has really grown into a tremendous leader. So couple that with his extraordinary talent on the field, his leadership ability, and the way he upholds the standard. It really is hard to see him not having a championship all-metro type season. Tegan Logan's taken it upon himself as well as the quarterback to be that leader. There were days in the summer where these guys would come up here. We would have a workout at 3, so they would get here around 1:30, help the young guys, do tutorial with the young guys on the playbook, start, conditioning at 3, and we wouldn't end practice till 8 p.m. So that's just leadership, and that's all player driven. And at this point, that's where the program is, right? There's a standard as to how you work, what goes into it, and what it's going to take to accomplish our goals. And those guys, we have leaders at every level, and we don't believe in having senior leaders, or really we don't believe in having captains. We believe that leadership can come from anywhere at any level, and it should. And that's what player-driven teams have just littered throughout their program.
One probably last question, although sometimes I have a history of telling you last question and then I think of another one, but this might be the last question. Football, I think, is unique to all the sports we offer here at Trinity in the standpoint that you play once a week. So, every other sport, generally 2 games a week, sometimes even more. I coach soccer, we've had 4-game weeks before. You play once a week. And there's a real sort of natural life cycle to that week. But from your eyes, as the head coach, can you talk us through like a game week? So the preparation, maybe the night before, the day of, the night after when it's over. Just what does it look like game week as the head coach?
We just show up Saturday and hope that for the best.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that.
So yes, the game week cycle. I actually love the game week cycle for football. So after a Saturday game, let's say, we get the film uploaded, and that'll probably take about 3 or 4 hours. And then we're watching our own film, critiquing our film. We call it breaking it down. And then sometime that evening, we'll get a film from our next opponent, and we'll have 2 films of them. And usually after critiquing our film, the coaches will kind of stop there, and we'll just kind of reflect on what we need to do to improve ourselves, not looking at our opponent yet. And then Sunday is typically for our opponents, and we'll take the day, we'll break our opponents down, and then I'll speak with our coordinators. I'll speak with Wally Rayner and Timon Brown for defense, and then Malcolm Bell on offense, and really tell them what I see and where I feel like we can make improvements or what adjustments we're going to need to make, and then they take that out to their coaching staff, to the rest of the coaching staff. And then on Monday we come in and we have like a personal meeting on Monday. And it's kind of good, the bad, the ugly, and that's where we're really honest. We don't do it after the game because there's a lot of emotions then, and so by Monday we're able to truly speak to them honestly. And usually after that, we'll implement our game plan initially. Tuesday, we will work on the game plan offensively typically. Wednesday, we'll work on the game plan defensively. Wednesday night, if there's any changes to the game plan, either offensively or defensively, that's when those changes go in. Thursday is a dual day, offense and defense together. Friday is a light practice and then the dinner before the game. And then Saturday is the next game. I think it's worthy to note that by Thursday, there are no changes. So a lot of times people are watching a football game and they say, why didn't they change that at halftime? Well, because we've practiced something. We've got almost 30 hours of practice time in, on doing it a particular way. And so you've just got to figure it out within that way. There's slight adjustments that are made, but overall game plans, by Thursday, those are set. So actually Friday night, we have a saying as a coaching staff, the hay is in the barn. You can actually kind of relax a little bit, take a breath, maybe watch some high school football. So it's not as stressful the night before the game. My high stress days are typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is the real big preparation days for me. That's an excellent question.
So then there is one final follow-up. Of all of that, what's your favorite day?
Game day. Come on now. And not just game day, because actually game day is one of my least favorite days as well.
Right.
Because the lead up, so you wake up really early, of course, on the game day because we're excited. We have a saying within our group text. It's Merry Christmas. Every game day is Merry Christmas because you get a chance to play football that day. And I tell the kids, you hit on it when you were talking about once a week. If you play every single game you can possibly play in your college career, you might get to 50 games total in your life. And all told, in a career of a high school and college player, if you're lucky, you get to 60 total games. That's it. And then there's no opportunity to play pickup. That's it. Your career is over. So it is really exciting on a game day. You've worked 7 days or 6 days to get to this one day, to get to 2 or 3 hours of excitement. And there's nothing like being in Aycock Stadium and walking out of those doors. And when we take the field here, it's just the excitement, the crowd, our fans. I mean, there's nothing like it. And so once we kick off, it's almost like I'm in a vortex. I can't hear the crowd typically, and then it's just 2.5 hours later, you kind of come out of the vortex. You realize who's around you. You realize, that it's really crowded and people are having a great time, hopefully, and the Titans are winning. But yeah, so game day is exciting. The build up to game day, I don't love. And I know you didn't like it either when you were a basketball coach. Like just all that stuff that goes on before the game. I'd just rather skip to the game and get it going.
Yeah, exactly. I love the practice before, that's obviously more of like when you game plan because basketball is more games. But the game, the day of the game until tip off was brutal.
It's brutal.
It's awful. 100% agree. I could sit here and chat Titan football with you until the sun goes down, but it looks like your guys are no longer around. You're on the practice field. I know you've got the best staff in the state, but they need the head ball coach out there with them. So thank you to Coach Sam Miggins for all that time. TSPN will have all of the home games this year right here from Aycock Stadium. And just thanks a lot to Coach Miggins. Can't wait to see
Titan Nation,
football
let's come out. Go
on
Titans.
another successful season. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.